Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And what an honor to speak about a gentleman who I have not only looked up to from the very moment I was born and admired and also loved very dearly. My father, Commodore Inderjit Sharma, AVSM Veer Chakra. You asked me what is it that I love about my father and what do I look up to? What do I look up to him for? I look up to him for his integrity, his resilience, his presence in knowing what's to be done, what can he best do in the moment, in the here and now. And above all, just being the most dependable man that I have seen in this world. He's also somebody who I know has had a very humbling, underdog to hero story, should I say. His heroic journey has been such that there have always been several hurdles from the time when he was a little child in undivided India before partition, and how he moved the border and came and encountered death in so many different ways during that time, to live in a state of sort of penury after that, and then join the Indian Navy, and then begin his journey, leaving his family, not having any contact with them, as a young lad of 17 years old, and coming into Cochin to join in as a sailor, and then having the courage and the knowledge and the wisdom to say, hey, is there a possibility to do more than this? To be able to discover that possibility by, observing other colleagues, and then working so hard and being so good with whatever he did that he always got commended in every posting that he had. In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Ines Rajput, or it was some other ship where he was the coxswain with Admiral Nanda at that time. He was, I think, the captain of the ship at that time, Admiral Nanda. And the CNC in those days had come by, and my father was sitting in the corridor of the ship studying to become an officer. And the then CNC asked him, what are you doing here sitting in the corridor? He stood up, of course, and saluted. And the CNC then said that, kya kar rahe ho? So he said, sir, I'm studying to become an officer. So he says, well, I'm very impressed to see that, there is such dedication. While there was, the rest of the boys were, having fun, singing songs inside the room. This young lad was sitting outside, and the CNC, patted him on his shoulder, and he said, you're going to go a far way, young lad. And sure enough, he became the officer, and an officer and a gentleman, shall I say, in so many ways. And not only did he have the opportunity to, captain a ship called INS Sharda during the time when he was, there was this cyclone in the area of Dhanushkodi in Park Strait in south of India, and where he saved over 3,000 people there during that time. And that's the time when the Indian Navy had cut off, ties from the ship, INS Sharda. And his wife, that is my mother, she was living in a small, accommodation. In fact, with one of his junior, one of his sailors, unki mummy ke ghar mein, because there was no accommodation. And my mother went through a paralytic attack during that time, and she was pregnant with me. It was a chaos during this whole thing. So the fact that, he could be there for the Navy, hold the naval flag up during this tumultuous time, and save so many people, and bring the Navy glory in that time, for which he got awarded the Ati Vishish Seva Medal. Because of this, efficiency and the kind of bravery he showed and the kind of timeliness he showed, the Navy gave him the opportunity to go and be part of the Russian, training group, 300 plus people who had gone to Russia to train and study the missile boats and bring them back to India. And then, of course, his ability, I'll get him to share what his journey was, how that whole operation happened when they came back from Russia, and what happened after that. So there's so much to be proud about, and there's very little that I can say as his daughter. I mean, like that, I had written a book for him. It's called Jangi, and the book is called Jangi for two reasons. That one, he's called Jangi by my mother in the house, And even we as children, the first word that I said was Jangi. And apart from that, isn't it true that all of us as human beings are, in a way, Jangis? We are warriors, we are fighters, and we are always trying to find ways of solutions in life. And so, therefore, the only way that a warrior can win is by playing his part well. The only way that can happen is by being present, by being courageous, by taking risks. And that's what Commodore Inderjit Sharma is all about. That's what my father is all about. So I'm going to turn the camera to him. But before that, do you want to say anything or should I move it to him?
Ma'am, some memories of him, some events in your childhood which you could narrate to us, which had a very lasting impact on you because he's a man of integrity, honor, officer and a gentleman. A Jangi.
So, yes, an absolute Jangi.
So, and what do you remember of him in the childhood?
So, as a child, one very strong memory that I have of him is that when he had finished the 1971 war, we were in Delhi. I was about, maybe 6 or 7 years old around that time, and we had come back from Russia. And not 7. I was about 8 years old or 9 years old around that time. And this was the time of 1975, where there was going to be the parade, the 26th January parade. And Papa was going to be leading the parade for the Indian Navy contingent. And at that time, he would come to the house and, he would be marching. We had this corridor. He would be practicing his march past in that left, right. And I remember my sister Mala and I and Angelika, we would say left, right, doing that. And Papa would be there practicing with his sword and eyes, right check turn, and he would do that. And we would be so excited. And the memory that extends to, obviously, that finally when the day happened when he was at the parade, we were like so cold, ठंड लगी हुई थी, हम लोग अपनी मम्मी के literally कंबल में चौल में लिपटे हुए थे तीनों बेटियां, and in the middle of all of this cold and bitter waiting because the Navy comes a little later in the parade, as you well know. And जब उनकी बारी आई और पापा आए, तो मैं तब तक सो गई थी. तो मम्मी ने जगाया, she said, Priya, देख, Papa has come, the Navy has come, So I remember this so distinctly, jumping up and, just screaming, Papa, screaming all us, like we're running towards the front, but officers and everybody not letting us go because we would answer this thing. So I was just so proud of the way I was just standing there in such awe of him, that he's so amazing and looking so good in his uniform. And of course, the eyes right check turn was perfect. And it was just an amazing memory. I just have, it just showed to me that here is this man, who has so much ability to stay dedicated to what is needed of him in the moment. And he is that as an exemplary person of somebody who really lives in the now, He doesn't hold baggage from the past. He doesn't worry about the future. He says, मैं अब इस वक्त जहाँ हूँ क्या कर सकता हूँ? And what best can I do? How can I bring my best self to the moment? And that's amazing.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We would like to continue this conversation, but we are running short of time. Definitely, we would like to, if you can move the camera. And
yes, right here, moving in camera right away to Commodore Inderjit Sharma himself. Here he is with his good lady, Rekha Sharma.
Sir, salutes to you, sir, and regards.
Thank you very much. Very much.
Sir, it is so nice that you are there with us, and your part of bravery actually has been narrated by somebody else. What you did on that night of 4th and 5th December was wonderful, sir. We could have straight from the horse's mouth, sir, how that night of 4th and 5th December, sir, it went off, sir. Can you, sir, narrate from those moments, sir?
Just to construct the whole story, I was based in Okha, at the port in north of India, Gujarat, as a advanced sort of a deployment. And myself and another ship was there, and there are 2 Petias were also there. However, the Petias, they left us after some time. Myself and the other missile boat, they were all there at that time. And we didn't know actually what we are really waiting for there. We had no idea that we will be deployed, to attack Karachi and what we have. However, on the fourth morning, we were sailed from that place. I sailed and left the harbor, whereas my friend Vidyut, BV Singh, so he could not make it because there's some engine problem over there. However, we went to sea and we met the main attack force, which was coming from Bombay. A group of Petias were there, Kiltan, Kachal, all these ships were there. And the main fleet was also somewhere south of us. I met those people and then we started sailing towards Karachi, northward. They didn't tell me that what exactly we are going to do, but since I had very devastating missiles with me, 4 of them, I was part of the force. So we sailed towards Karachi at that time. And
Secrecy.
there was a total top secrecy, I would say that, because Admiral Nanda, who was the CNS at that time, he had not told anything to anybody. Only towards the end, when he was saying towards Karachi, he was telling we are going to attack so-and-so place. That was the secrecy, you can call it. So we sailed and finally in the evening of fourth evening, right? So we have south of Karachi at about 70 miles, as we call it, nautical miles, not kilometers, 70 nautical miles, which is about 2,000 meters equivalent to a nautical mile, whereas in mile it was 1760 as you know it. So that was it, so the formation it was called trident, like an arrow. There was a front ship, there are 2 missile boats, and then the 2 Petias behind us. So they're going that way. So as we are going towards Karachi, I picked up a target on my left side, a port side as we call it, and I told my squadron commander, who was Commander Babruwan Yadav, detected target and so on the range, permission to attack. So immediately after some time, I got the approval and that attack. I altered my course to the left, as they call it. My range was at about 20 nautical miles from that particular ship at that time. I closed in, got my missiles ready, and fired first missile on this particular ship. It was a direct hit. I reported to my squadron commander that missile fired, hit the target. It was a battle destroyer basically, and PNS Khyber. And target still afloat, permission to launch a second missile. So that I intended that, the second missile, the ship will sink.
One second. There seems to be some disturbance. Can that be stopped, please? Somebody's audio is on unnecessarily. Thank you very much. Carry on, Papa.
So the permission was granted to me to launch a second missile because the ship was still afloat. We knew that the ship has from the 20 to 25 knots has come down to 3 knots. I mean, she has been hit and she slowed down. And so without seeking the permission of the squadron commander, Commander Babruwan Yadav, I couldn't fire my second missile. He said approved. The moment he approved my firing of the second missile, I altered once again to the port side and launched my second missile. The range was about 17 nautical miles at that time. And the missile once again hit the target since she was not moving at any speed, only 3 knots. So it blew up the ship, right, and right in the center. And it must have sunk after some time. But however, after the attack, I told the squadron commander that I have hit the second missile also. It is direct hit. And I think that she is broken down in 2 parts and sinking. So anyway, he said, join me, and I altered course once again to the northward, that is towards Karachi, and headed northward. But I had still 2 missiles with me, which I had to launch somewhere. We were going towards Karachi, and as we were closing the Karachi harbor, so the signal came from Naval Headquarters, Angar. Angar was the code word for calling off the operations. So that was it, So I sank battle destroyer PNS Khyber, and then the Angar came, and we turned back towards India. And in fact, you can say the first missile was launched by INS Nirghat, and then started the war with Pakistan at the 4th of December. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your narrative. It was so moving. We will want to talk to Mrs. Inderjit Sharma, at least one question. So
Yes,
you're holding a placard, so could you show it to everybody, sir?
This is the team. Can you see this? This is the team.
Yes, yes. Oh, great.
This is the team. I hope you can see it.
I suppose, sir.
Right. All right. Yeah, Mama, they have a question for you. Yeah. Go ahead. Please ask, Mrs. Sharma.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
your Jungi is sitting next to you. How was life with him?
Oh, I think it has been new life every day. Something new, something to look forward to. Now what's going to happen? Always just ready for something else. So that is what life has been with him till today.
Man of action.
Man of action. Yes, true.
Any thing which you remember in particular, because living life with such a dynamic person, a man of honor, integrity, bravery, courage, would be very exciting. But something which you remember, which you could tell us today.
Yeah, I think I could. I came to a level that I did not want to decide anything without his knowledge, because I trusted him so much that his thinking, his decision will be better for the family, for all of us. So it happens even in the small little, household things too. And the main thing, it started with his behavior in his work. Whatever may happen, he has to leave on time, and coming home is not the early thing. Coming home depends if the work is over or not. But going there to set an example to others that how it should be, he would leave. And of course, spreading love in the family, that is his main part.
Thank you.